Jai Sai Ram. We are here with none other than Balu Karanam, who is beloved in our Atlanta Center. He is our brother. He has long been part of all the proceedings that have gone on at our center, and now even on a larger scale. He's always bringing the light of Swami into our hearts, making us smile, and also bringing wisdom from the many experiences he's had with Swami. So brother, we're going to turn the floor over to you. Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you, brother, for this wonderful opportunity to be in the 95 stories of the glory. So coming to my experience with Swami, I can literally say that I started as a child going to Parthi in my 4th grade. That's where I joined Swami school. From then on, I just grew up in Parthi, as you all know that. So growing up in Parthi, seeing Swami every day, gives the feeling that you know God. Every day you are seeing God, but we really don't know what God is actually. We touch Him and we talk to Him. Especially when I joined college, it was more interactions, personal interactions, and you sit with Swami and Swami will talk to you, Swami will joke with you, and Swami will make you laugh. And also Swami will ask what is happening in the hostel. Swami will ask, what are you going to do, what is happening, all that. It's more like a personal interaction, and you'll see him as more as a human form, and you are lost in the physical proximity, but forgetting that he is divine, because he came down to our level to show us how divine we are. So one such incident, what I can literally say, which set the awareness, what I felt is, if the awareness is not in, we will enjoy the God. The minute you know He is God, you'll take a step back and you start surrendering to Him actually. That kind of situation happened when I was in my final year undergraduate degree. One evening, I got a phone call from my home saying that my sister, third sister, we are 6 of us, though she's my third sister, she's not well. So what my brother told me other side in the phone is, just go and ask Swami, ask for, please tell Swami that she's not well. And basically first thing came to my mind is, she's not well, let me get vibhuti from Swami and send it home. So with that mind, I went in the morning darshan and sat in the portico. Swami came and asked, why are you here? Because every day morning we are supposed to be in the ground, doing our yoga, running, all that. Then I told Swami, sister is not well, please take care of her. Swami said, she's fine, sit down. Then I thought, if Swami says fine, she's fine. But when he went to the darshan, to give darshan, I was thinking, let me ask Swami for the prasadam, vibhuti, and sent it home. This is a thought it was going. As Swami came back, those were the days, this is in 1990, almost 30 years back. So I got up, can you imagine, went and held Swami's hand. I told him, Swami, please take care of my sister. And he said, come. He asked me to come into the interview room. So that is the first time I'm going with something asking Swami. Because usually Swami calls for interview, we used to run inside, sit around him, all that. But this is a different interview with all other devotees also. I went inside, sat. Then Swami was talking to all the devotees, and he was, Swami was performing a marriage a few days later. So he was asking about all the arrangements, everything. Then, Swami was talking, and in the meanwhile, he was looking at me. Then I was more worried whether I get opportunity, whether I get, prasadam to send home. Then seeing that, Swami said, come inside into the personal interview room. That is a room where Swami sits on the couch and you are one with him. when he gave that much attention, I started crying. The situation was about thinking about my sister as well as Swami giving so much attention. So I said, Swami's sister is not well. Please take care. By the time, I was crying, I was kneeling down. Swami took my head and put it on his lap and said, why do you worry? Am I not there? Go home, get your sister and mother tomorrow. I'll cure her. Can you imagine? No doctor on earth says he will cure. Only God can say that. Doctors usually, physicians usually say that they treat patients. But here is the doctor, a divine doctor, who can really say, I cure her. Saying that, Swami, then I saw my tears on Swami's robe. Then I took a white handkerchief and tried to rub it, remove the tears. Swami said it's fine. Then he got up, went into the next room, got a bunch of 100 rupee notes, the Indian currency. Swami puts into my pocket. See, imagine, that is the highest level of empathy. That is the highest level of perfection. Swami is already thinking, this boy need to go to home. So he need to look for money. And also, these are all things, usually see how much his thinking is. That is the way God, that's the way the level God works. That the perfection of God, I can say. So he put it in my pocket and said, you go today and bring them tomorrow. So I went home. That is the first time I am seeing my sister, because usually we come back to hostel. That is the where we are really cut off with the family. Those days are also no cell phones like what we are today. So first time I'm seeing her, condition. Basically, she she got married, got a baby girl. This is the second, a second child, boy was born, and she got into some kind of depression, and the doctors were asking her to go to the antidepressant therapy. That is the time my brother called me. See, only after going to my home, I realized what is the condition actually. Till then, I was just acting based on what my brother said. Then I told my brother, Swami called us, tomorrow we need to be in Parthi. The minute I said, he said, Swami will take care, because that's the confidence, confidence came. So then we all went to Parthi next day. Then I told them, you please come into the mandir. I need to go to the portico and sit along with the students. As I sat, Swami opened the door, directly came to me and said in Telugu, Vachara, saying that, are they come? See that as soon as I said, yes, Swami, then Swami went for the Darshan. After he came back and he said, call them. Piluchu, he said, call them. I was, got up from the portico, went to the edge of the portico. I need to look for my mother and, my sister and all the family members, my sister-in-law, my brother, my mother's sister, and also my brother-in-law also came. So it's a lot of them actually. As Swami is calling, everybody came. So I can't figure them out in that many heads. Parthi, Darshan, those who have seen, it is little, you can't make out where they're standing. See, that is the time God comes to my rescue. Swami comes, walks to me and said, hey, look there. Can you imagine? Swami showing where my mother and all stay. Where I cannot recognize, he recognizes and say, look there. So I called them, they came in. So we all went inside into the interview room. That is the only interview I never ran. I was the last person very close to the door to see his, that omnipotent and omniscient Sai's, energy. That's the way I say, that is the awareness part of my student life. So Swami comes in, he closed the door. As he walks to his chair, my sister is sitting in the middle, in the middle of the interview room. Swami goes and, stops in front of her, looks at her and says, what happened to you? Then immediately he waved and materialized a Lingam and gave it to her. So it is the first is the medication, given, and Swami said, you should put water for 7 days, drink that water, on 7th day you will be all right. Then he goes and sits on the chair. As Swami sat on the chair, by that time itself, my mother is already very close to Swami's chair. She fell on his feet and said, Swami, you are God. Immediately Swami, lifted her and said, why do you worry? Am I not there? See, that's what he said, am I not there? As a mother, if you are worried, children will be worried more. See, that is the time I realized what is the meaning of a divine mother. Divine mother is a mother who takes care of all the mothers. Can you imagine? Every mother's concern, that divine mother can take care. Then he sat and he called my brother, eldest brother. By the time my father passed away, so my eldest brother was the head of the family, taking care of the family. Then Swami calls him and says, as the eldest brother, as the eldest child of the family, you took care of the family. I'm so happy with you. Then immediately he waved and materialized Akshaya Patra of vibhuti and gave it to him. He started crying because, see, these are things I never thought. Actually, many times I wrote letters about my personal things to Swami, but I never knew that he might have read it. Or there are certain times as a young adult I was thinking whether he knows all these things. Can you imagine? In one interview he was almost clearing all the files which are accumulated unnecessarily in my head. Then he said, keep have faith in Swami, keep Swami firmly in your heart, and you all will be all right. Then he said, when he was saying that, my sister said, Swami, I don't know what made her. Then she said, Swami, please take care of Balu, that is me. That's the way she used to call me. Then Swami said, you take care of your children, I'll take care of Balu. It's almost like two mothers telling, I will take care of my child, kind of. Then he said, hey, come, get the bag, the red bag with the vibhuti. Then Swami Swami gave vibhuti packets to everybody's hands. And finally, since I was holding, he put it into my pocket, and he said, he sent us away. It is 45 minutes or so, that entire interview. That really changed my, looking at Swami. For very next moment, see, they left home. My sister became all right. 7th day after taking that water, she took both children and went to her home. That's it. That is Swami's. Swami's word is the medication. See this, of course he has given that lingam and water, but his word is that powerful. So she became all right, and then from that time I started looking Swami very, very different. In the sense, even though he's joking and even though he was making us laugh, I used to think, no, this Swami is beyond our imagination, and he is God. So let's, what I say is, let's hold on to his feet without any confusions, and just let's surrender to him, and let's follow the master, and we can face any devil anytime without any confusions. With that, I thank you all. Jai Saram.